Report: Facebook admits in court filings its fact checks are merely opinion, and now everything is in question. Posted by Jim Patrick, December 15, 2021. Editorial featured. If you're a conservative or run a conservative site, you have likely been hit by one of the infamous fact checks from Facebook. By definition, a fact check means to investigate an issue in order to verify the facts. Short, sweet, and to the point. Investigate to verify the facts. Investigative journalist John Stossel, formerly of ABC News, brought a lawsuit against the tech giant, and in defending their case, Facebook actually admitted that the so-called fact checks used by the company are not actually fact checks, but are merely opinion. According to the New York Post, the lawsuit stemmed from two videos posted by Stossel that discussed climate change, which the Post referred to as the third rail of liberal politics. The videos did not question the existence of climate change, which has been, despite liberal politicians' protestations, subject to some debate. Rather, the videos examined other issues involving forest management and the use of technology to adapt to what the left refers to as climate change. However, in the case of the two videos, a third-party fact-checker employed by Facebook, Science Feedback, flagged the videos as false or the old fallback, lacking context. In claiming the videos lacked context, the third party said they didn't like the tone of Stossel's commentary. Tone? How in the world does one quantify tone? As the Post notes, you can't write anything about climate change unless you say it's the worst disaster in the history of humanity, which will cost trillions of dollars to fix. As has happened to many conservatives, or in the case of Stossel libertarians, Facebook throttled Stossel's content, which in turn cost him readers and, more importantly, revenue. Law enforcement today has also fallen victim to these draconian fact-checkers. So Stossel rightfully filed suit against Facebook for defamation. In its defense, as noted in a court filing, Facebook actually put it in writing that their fact checks are in fact opinion. As reported in Breitbart, their filing reads, with emphasis from Breitbart. Beyond this threshold Section 230 problem, the complaint also fails to state a claim for defamation. For one, Stossel fails to plead facts establishing that Meta acted with actual malice, which as a public figure, he must. For another, Stossel's claims focus on the fact-check articles written by Climate Feedback, not the labels affixed through the Facebook platform. The labels themselves are neither false nor defamatory, to the contrary, they constitute protected opinion. And even if Stossel could attribute Climate Feedback's separate web pages to Meta, the challenged statements on those pages are likewise neither false nor defamatory. Any of these failures would doom Stossel's complaint, but the combination makes any amendment futile. So, you see what Facebook, Meta, does here. They're trying to pin the rap, so to speak, on Climate Feedback, since Facebook outsources their censorship to third-party fact-checkers, most of which consist of liberal news outlets and non-profits. Clearly, Facebook does this in a deliberate attempt to distance itself from being responsible for fact-checkers by claiming those decisions are not Facebook's, but the third-party company. As Breitbart notes, however, Facebook is acting upon those decisions by affixing labels to posts that have been fact-checked, thus throttling their reach on the social media outlet. What Facebook is attempting to do is claim that since their fact-checks are opinion, they are protected speech under the First Amendment. The Post noted they also have been victimized by Facebook fact-checkers, noting that a February 2020 article was posted to their page relative to whether or not the COVID-19 virus was leaked from the Wuhan research lab. That article was given a false label by Facebook's fact-checkers, despite the fact that little was known at that time about the origins of the virus. According to the Post, among those relied on for that fact-check was a group of so-called independent scientific reviewers who relied on, among others, EcoHealth, which had funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, as part of their panel of experts. Separately, Twitter also engaged in similar censorship of the Post shortly before the 2020 presidential election, when that company blocked the Post's stories about Hunter Biden's laptop, which has since been verified as belonging to him. Twitter's claim? They said it was based on hacked materials, which was a materially false claim. That action was clearly taken to give Joe Biden cover and protect his presidential campaign. In both the above cases, the Post said the so-called fact checks were eventually lifted, however the damage was done, and it no longer mattered. Perhaps that was the intent all along. The Post notes that a familiar name is involved in the fact-checking game, namely one George Soros, along with a number of government-funded non-profits, far-left media, and the tech tyrants themselves. For Stossel, he noted in an op-ed in the Post that as a private company, Facebook can censor whomever it wants, but noted that what Facebook is doing is just sleazy. Stossel said that Facebook on their own pages portrays fact checks as statements of fact. He notes that is how Facebook defines them on its website, as follows. Each time a fact checker rates a piece of content as false, Facebook significantly reduces the content's distribution. We apply a warning label that links to the fact checker's article, disproving the claim. So here, Stossel notes, Facebook uses the term disproving the claim. Opinion? Sounds like a statement of fact to Stossel, as well as to anyone else reading that statement. Facebook is claiming protection under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which is designed to protect the company from liability for material posted to the site by third parties. Cute dance Facebook is trying to do here. They employ third-party fact-checkers to act on their behalf, yet deny liability when those fact-checkers potentially commit libel or defamation, as Stossel is alleging. Stossel, however, argues that it was Facebook, not just a third party, that declared my posts partly false. Facebook's warning was created by Facebook and posted in Facebook's voice. Stossel also noted that Facebook admits on its own website that we apply a warning label. He noted that he brought the defamation perpetrated by Facebook to their attention over a year ago, however they did nothing to correct it. The suit stems from a video Stossel put up which claimed that wildfires in the state of California were more caused by poor government management of the forests rather than climate change, which Facebook called misleading, citing the science feedback post which incorrectly quoted Stossel as saying, "Forest fires are caused by poor management, not by climate change." Except Stossel claims he never said that. In fact, Stossel said he acknowledged that climate change has made things worse. All he did was note that in his opinion, government mismanagement was a bigger factor, noting that while a lot of forests were affected by so-called climate change, well-managed forests fared much better. Stossel reached out to Science Feedback's reviewers to question about the misleading label, with two agreeing to on-camera interviews. They admitted, when asked what was misleading about his video, that they hadn't even watched Stossel's video, offering no defense for the words attributed to Stossel placed inside quotation marks, words which he never said. He reached out to Facebook, which ignored him. Stossel noted he hates lawsuits, and despite the fact Facebook had hurt him financially, he did nothing. And then it happened again. Stossel posted a video called "Are We Doomed?", which was tagged with a partly false label. In this video Stossel admitted climate change may be real, however said we can adapt to it, as Holland has. The video initially received 24 million views on Facebook, until it too was throttled. Not only that, but Stossel's other videos on Facebook took a hit also. While he says he used to get most of his views on Facebook, most nowadays come from other sites such as Rumble and YouTube. In this case, Stossel once again reached out to Science Feedback, where he asked one reviewer what the problem was with his climate crisis video. He, fact-checker, admitted that there were no incorrect facts in the video, but they didn't like his tone. The problem is the omission of contextual information rather than specific facts being wrong, the fact-checker told Stossel. In other words, the fact-checkers are not unbiased arbiters of the truth, but more so are useful idiots, furthering the far-left propaganda, while stifling differing opinions. In the case of Facebook, they are trying to deflect their own responsibility for stifling free speech by deflecting blame to their third-party fact-checkers. How very honest of them.